Equality is something we strive for in the modern day life. In the world of output and results, however, things are never equal. 2 students are never equal, 2 jobs are never equal, and 2 tasks are never equal. And according to real estate badass and author Gary Keller, this is the basis of all great decisions. So how do you decide? When you have a lot to get done in a day, how do you decide what to do first? And that's exactly what this video is about, so let's get started. The older we get, it seems there is more and more that must get done on a daily basis. We are overbooked, overextended, and overcommitted. Knocking out 100 tasks for whatever reason is a poor substitute, however, for doing the one task that is meaningful. Not everything matters equally, and success isn't a game won by whoever does the most. Yet that is exactly how most people play it on a daily basis. The problem is that the best decision gets traded for any decision, and what should be progress simply becomes a trap. We become active and we become busy, but this doesn't necessarily move us any closer to success. And sometimes we don't know, because the things that are most important don't always scream the loudest. High achievers operate differently, however. They have an eye for the essential. They pause just long enough to decide what matters and then allow what matters to drive their day. The difference isn't in intent, but in right of way. Achievers always work from a clear sense of priority. Enter the 20-80 rule, otherwise known as Pareto's Principle. Pareto had written a mathematical model for income distribution in Italy that stated that 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the people. Wealth was not distributed evenly, but he suspected it might even be a universal law. And he was right. The 20-80 rule is found everywhere. Some examples: 20% of criminals commit 80% of the crimes. 20% of employees are responsible for 80% of the results. And most relevant to us, 20% of the effort is responsible for 80% of the results. Pareto points out a very clear direction. The majority of what you want will come from the minority of what you do. Now, don't get too hung up on the numbers. Depending on circumstances, it can easily play out as 19-10 or 70-30. But understand that these are all fundamentally working off the same principle. Alright, so now we know this, how can we apply this principle to our priorities? Well, when you have a to-do list for the day or the week, you have to go small and figure out which task will result in the biggest outcomes. For example, let's say you have 25 tasks that could be done. Take 20% of this, or 5 of the most important tasks, and do these first. You can even go further by taking another 20%, and now you have your most important task of the day. Simple, but very effective. This method will make sure that you won't focus on being busy, but actually focus on being productive. Whenever you finish these most important tasks, reassess and do the process again. It might feel good to check off stuff off your list, but all things don't matter equally. And this is how you get trapped in the unproductive modern day grind. Sometimes it's the first thing you do, and sometimes it's the only thing you do. Regardless, doing the most important thing should always be the most important thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Animation videos like these take me such a long time to create, so please consider leaving a like or a comment. When you subscribe to my channel, you will receive the most valuable ideas that I read out of books from trusted authors right on your subscription page every week. Oh, and if you don't want to miss a video, don't forget to click on that bell. These videos are meant as an overview and as an introduction to the topic, so if you want to learn more things and really get into the details, go to Audible using my link in the description for 2 free audiobooks with a free trial. In the description you will also find my recommended books and the best material investments I have bought over the years. Thank you for watching and see you next week.